Hello everybody and welcome back to Saxlingham. So I'm going to have to ask a very big favour of you all, and please do let me know what the sound quality is like. It has, ever since I started recording, sorting my sound out has been one of the hardest things I think I've had to figure out. I'm hoping that I have it sorted now. I know in previous videos I've mentioned about the sound, but all I've been doing there, or what I've been trying to fix, is obviously the difference between the game volume and microphone volume. What I have done now though is I've gone on and finally been learning about filters that you can put over your microphone and over the game. So I have applied them to I've applied them now basically, so it'll be interesting to see where we are with it. I'm hoping that by scrolling in like so you can still hear me, because apparently what I've done, obviously the powers of YouTube, apparently what I've done now is when I talk the game volume lowers, or at least I hope so. Otherwise you've all just heard a lot of noise and not much else. So yes, so please do let me know in the comments below whether everything is all alright for you. We've hit a milestone, well, a milestone for me. Obviously when you look at YouTube channels and where you need to be and what YouTube requires, obviously subscriber wise we've hit the limit there, so we're over that, which is brilliant news. And watch hours, we've just broke 1,000 watch hours. So we are 2,000 hours away from being able to do memberships, if that is anything that people do, and 3,000 hours away from monetization. So, which, I'll be honest, when I first started this channel, I never thought we'd get anywhere near something like that. It was more just of a hobby, so that I could play Farm Sim in peace. I hope our lass doesn't watch this start of the video. So the main plan for this episode is weed eradication, because our 3 fields, well, there was our canola field, which we did spray off in a previous episode, but we now have our 2 wheat fields and barley field that they all need spraying. So obviously we're starting with the big wheat field first, which this is now done, so we can get this folded up and we can go take it to another one of our fields. So we will just check on the map onto here, and you can see field 41, bar odd little bit sink corner, now has no weeds in it. And then we have field 38 and 50 to go and do. But whilst we're here, I would like to just have a look at contracts, see what we've got going. So everything is cultivating or mowing. So what's these? So they're not giving us very big cultivators for these jobs. And then the mowing, well, to be fair, that's not a bad little mowing job. Ploughing, definitely not. I've seen how long they take in Alma. But I've been toying with doing the stone picking jobs, because I've also been thinking about what productions we can add into this Let's Play. Obviously it's more of a farming, I want to more stick down the farming route, but I wouldn't mind doing the odd sort of little thing. And this is where a job like this we may be able to, if we just look onto here. Ooh, that's cool. If we look onto here and go down to stone pickers, we have Black Sheep Modding's stone picker, which is twice the capacity and almost twice the width. So you think if you were to buy that for 64,000, that would then mean that in these two, well, if you were to go and do all these contracts, you've paid it off. That's my sort of thinking, and it's there. Then maybe we can go down the route of doing something to do with stones and cement, or stones and lime, because lime is certainly something that we use a bit of, and then we can look to be self-sufficient in that way. It's an idea, but well, again, if you'd like to leave your thoughts on that, then do let me know. Or if you know of a better production to go down, then I am all ears. But right, we will make our way over to field 50, because we can get on and do that one, and then it leaves our next biggest field for our worker to do. I also want to try and have a look at, in this series, doing some root crops. I don't want to go big, like into the big fields. I'd be more looking to buy smaller fields to do that in. So, for instance, if we had a look at, sorry to keep going backwards and forwards, like 49 wouldn't be a bad field to do it in, or 51, what's 51? 100% loan, so we could get that with the discount for 100 and some thousand. We could get that dirt cheap if we wanted. What's that? 3.919 acres. The field, that's 4.25. Field 48 wouldn't be too bad a field, size wise. And you'd want it to be as square as possible. So I'm thinking maybe, there's the option of those fields there. I would like to buy field 40 at some point. It makes sense with where our yard is. These aren't so bad, but there you got too many islands for my liking. But anyways, so how big's that field? So that's 7. So I think we venture down over to here. And there's nothing in them. We'll see. If we get down to those fields, like if it comes time for sugar beet planting or potato planting, I'm not too keen on vegetable planting. If we get to that time and they're still not drilled and we have the finances, then planted, then we will have a look at whether that's a place for us to go and an idea. And there we go, there is another field done. And I think I'm going to do that with the stone picking, because if we have a look on construction menu and go to productions, I have installed quite a few sort of just smaller productions, because I don't want to go to anything too big. So there is this cement factory, which I think this could be the base game one, where we could put stones into. 37,000. There's this one. That's definitely a base game, but that produces it for you. I was hoping that there was bakery, sawmill, oil mill, spinnery, dairy tailor, grape, sugar mill, grain mill. I'm sure I put some others. I haven't loaded them into this save game. Hold on. We have the small cement factory, which probably showing it on the road is probably the best way to show it. So we can put stones into there. We do also have, so there's the small flour mill. There should be loads. So, there's another small grain mill. like so. So we've got all these sort of little productions, which that's the base game one. I think this is, so we've got a sawmill there, which we can take the roof off. So if we, or put a roof on. So if we customize. Ooh, where's my thing gone? Right, okay, I don't know what's happening there. So we can put a roof on stuff like that. So I thought these may not be so bad. So there is another concrete cement factory. There's another one there, which I think that may be, because then we're making the most of our stones. But anyways, right, let's get this down to our next big field. Our worker can do that, and we will then, I'm going to have just another look. I need to have a look at horsepower requirements, and we may go do some stone missions or contracts. Well, it's decided. We've accepted the contract, but we don't have a stone picker, so we're going to go buy one, and then we can go do that, and we can see then, or do we lease it first? I'm so indecisive when it comes to this. Right, we'll buy one, and then we'll see how painful this is, or how unpainful it is, and then that can decide on where we go. We're definitely not going, I wasn't going to borrow the items, because just using one of the base game ones it would be ridiculous. Also, our cows, we should be getting some calf soon, so that's exciting. Right, well, we're just pulling in here. Oh, hello, those cars, they look like something a bit dangerous going on there. Alright, let's hop out and let's go say hello. I always like jumping over here. How are we doing? Right, so we want stone pickers. This one, I'm not too bothered about the tyres. Trailer bog, yes please, 64,000. I hope this isn't a bad idea. If anything, if it doesn't work out or go to plan, we shouldn't lose money. We should do nothing but make money, because the depreciation of doing this one field, if we were to sell this straight away, means that we'll be alright. It's just whether we go and do any of the other contracts. But I don't think it'll be too bad. You know, if we were to leave it on with the worker to go to a big field, like the field that's 50-odd thousand pounds, you know, if we left a worker on with that, because the 4,000 litre capacity, it'll take some filling. I know that for sure. That should be, yeah, it should take a lot of filling. Right, so we'll turn into here. We can get this one folded now. And this is going to be, I'm toying on whether we turn stones, because I think we've got stones off in this. So this could be our reason for turning stones back on, because it also gives a nice seedbed. But I know in Alma, I'm quite enjoying, I was just about to say, there's hardly any stones in here. Is it just, are they just on this headland? Oh no, there's appearing, you can start seeing them down there. I know on Alma we've got ploughing turned on. I don't know how to turn that on to here, because I'm quite enjoying that extra bit of realism. So until we decide what we're going to do with these stones, I'm going to take these back to the yard and get ourselves unloaded, because obviously we're 97% full and we've done 58% of the contract. So by unloading this, we should be able to do it, finish the field off in the next time lapse. Our worker has also called. He's finished spraying for us, so we may have. Well, we should have turned right there, to be fair. So I may have a look at more contracts, see if there's something else to put him onto. But this is more just to keep some money coming into the bank as we wait till we can sell our products. Because the only thing we have left to do on our land is, now all the fields are fertilised. Not fertilised, all our fields are sprayed. We need to fertilise next. But anyways, let's get this back to the yard, find somewhere to tip it, and then we can go from there. So we could, if we wanted, put a small production in this corner. In this corner here, we would have to take that tree out. So I would have to, well, I've got a chainsaw, I think, but we'd have to look at stump grinders or something of the like. So that is very much an option. And what I may do is just thinking of that, is we'll tip this in here. Shouldn't be too big a pile, but at least it'll be easy enough to scoop out as and when we need to. So what am I getting to unload this? So if I go like that and like that, there we go. So we'll make a pile here, and then, like I say, because I don't think there's anywhere to sell stones on this map, so the only thing we can do with them is to do a production. This is if we are going to go down the stone route. So SSS stones, yeah, no sell point here, so there is nothing we can do. But like I said, by the time we finish this other contract, we'll have 8,000 litres. I would like to go and do some more, which 48, that's not a bad one, because it's long and thin. And what's that? So that is, how big is the field? 9.9 acres. We're currently doing 14 acres, so there's quite a big difference. We're doing the bigger field first. Right, well, here we are again for the second time, so we can start getting these arms unfolded. And I'm just hoping that we can do this field, because this top half, there's very little to no stones, whilst the bottom half is full of them. So I'm just hoping there isn't a problem, because we have had one or two problems with contracts, which I don't know why. And there we go, just this last little bit to put in, and then we're all done. So I am going to go and accept the contract for the other field, which is slightly smaller than this one, and I'm just going to set our worker off on that. So depending on how he gets on, we may continue the next episode in this month, or he will just do that off camera for us and gather a load of stones up. And there, so we are now done. Let's turn that off, lift it up, and we can fold it. So obviously we own this now, and what was it, 64,000, but if we go to here, to our contract page, we can knock half of that straight off, so there's 31,000 in the bank, And then where is stone picking? So we'll get this one, so accept that contract. That big one I think is just going to take a long time. But yeah, it says, this is what I don't understand. Estimated time, 1 hour 47 minutes to stone pick field 16. But yet, to plough field 5 is shorter. The only thing I can think is it's going off that being is it 5.5 meters. But anyways, let's get back to the yard and get this tipped. So again, we'll tip it in this corner here. Seems the best place. And then, like I say, we probably will put a cement factory in. It is cement, isn't it? Because I keep calling it concrete all the time. So tip that again there. And then, like I say, for the removal of one tree, which I have been, I'll be honest, I've been very reluctant to cut any trees down because it is such a beautiful map. The last thing I want to do is to ruin anything by taking trees down, but I do believe that one's going to have to come down. And then we could expand into here, where I'm half toying of going into wood chips, because we all know wood chips, well, you make a fortune from them. So I thought if we go into here, if we find trees, this is where there's going to be none. Okay, so there's one. So that's, you know, a good tree to cut down. A pine. And then I think that's it. American elm. What's that? Oak. There's a pine that could come down, but I'm very conscious of the fact that I don't want to leave big holes in my bit of woodland. But obviously owning this, it means that we could, if we were to cut into here, we could extend our yard a bit. Where am I going? I'm getting lost now. Yeah, we could extend the yard coming into here. And then it may even be worth having a look at terraform, and we could properly dig into the bank. But we'll have to see. There's only 2 trees I could see that would be really worth taking. Well, 3 trees, that one up there, taking down. The rest, I think you'll be doing the map a disservice. But right, I'm going to leave it there. The worker can take this up to the top field and he can get on stone picking in the interim between episodes. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and share, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.